This is Modesta Mahigambuguni from Purpose and Excellence. We are on day 10 on our series on how to bounce back from any setback. Let me get my screen looking right. So we've made it to day 10. I don't know about you. I don't know what you've been through, but as I've shared before, I've been through enough setbacks. We don't need to recount those things. What we know for sure, which is what I'd like to emphasize today, and so hear me good. If you choose to apply these strategies, these success strategies that I've shared with you as a lifestyle, like take them as your principles, no matter what come may, I'm going to stand by this. I'm going to calm myself down. Despite what I think is a worst case scenario, whatever I fear that I'm losing or, that I won't be able to recapture, I am going to work with what I have. What do you have in your hand right now? You take inventory of all your resources. You take inventory, count your blessings, name them one by one, quite literally. Write down what you do have going for you. And just because you've had this diversion doesn't mean that you cannot bounce back. You cannot plan your way back up. And so sit down, whether it is you and your partner, if that's in business, or your colleagues, or it's you and maybe, your whoever you're directly reporting to or who reports to you, or a peer, if it's an employment, a work career context, or mentor, whether it is a personal development context, a trusted confidant, an accountability partner. You've heard me speak a lot about getting somebody else other than just yourself in on this. Or if it's your personal life, you have a spouse, you have a sibling, a parent, somebody you could bounce things off of, somebody who is, sound in wisdom and has experience in these areas and is probably down in the trenches with you. And so rather than doing it alone, get somebody else's mind in on it, somebody else's creativity, somebody else's input on it. Of course, be discriminative about who you share things with. They have to be somebody that actually adds value, not just for the sake of hearing somebody else's voice. But sit down and plan on how to get back up. And make sure that you speak more of what you want to see than where you have come from or what you're currently going through, the pain of the current transition, because that doesn't help. Be positive about it. Look at where you want to go. Maintain that goal, maintain that zeal, that zest, that fire you had when you started out. This setback does not define you. Maintain the fire of what you had and just say, listen, to get to where I am right now as an adult, I have been through enough setbacks in life. And so I will get over this just like I did every other one. I am going to pray through this. I'm going to strategize through this. I'm going to get frugal maybe with my spending and my time management and relationships, whatever I need to do, wherever I might have to go lean before I can, broaden out again. I will do that. And then today, of course, we've already spoken about, celebrating milestones and taking a break from it all, because you will need to have that bit of distance so you can really see what you're looking at objectively. When you're into the details so much, you may not be able to see as best as you could. So, of course, you've refreshed, you've taken a break, you realize this thing doesn't define you, and then do it all over again. Because that's removing those thoughts and those emotions. Yeah, you will have to do that every single day. And you really need to get an accountability partner on this, because you know what? Those thoughts and emotions are in your head. Nobody knows you're going through them unless you disclose or you speak. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth, the mouth speaks, or you start acting out things where you're like, they're a little stressed, or they're going through something, or they're not thinking clearly. But unless you actually share what you're going through, people will not know. So make sure you have an accountability partner. And remember everything that we've learned from day one. If you haven't watched this series, How to Bounce Back from Any Setback, go back and start from day 1 to today, day 10. Because day 10 is telling you everything I have said from day 1 to day 9. Do that over and over again. You will need to do that over and over again. You will need to speak the right things over and over again. You will need to, go and make adjustments to your lifestyle and your spending and your relationships and your career trajectory. You will need, your business. You will need to do that over and over again until you come out on the other side. And so write down All these success strategies that I've shared with you, apply them. It's not going to be a one thing you do like, okay, step 1 to 10, but as I've done step 1 to 10, I'm done. No, you will have to do it over and over and over again. Write them down, practice them, live them, incorporate them, adopt them into your life as a lifestyle. It won't just help you with this transition, the fact that you're consistent, that you can repeat this over and over again, because you know what? Consistent trumps any effort any day of the week. Anybody can make an effort once. It's like going to the gym. Beginning of the year, by February, apparently over 80% of people, just done with their New Year's resolutions. And so it's not those who start or those who do or those who have the vigor and the strength. It's those who can continue with it. And so it is not a sprint. It is a marathon to get you out of this setback. But the greatest advantage of the fact that you will do this over and over again, you will repeat this, you will be consistent, and you will make sure that you incorporate it and it becomes part of your mindset, part of your lifestyle, is because life will happen again. Very soon, you will get another setback, maybe not in the same area, in another area, but no matter what comes your way, as long as you remember steps 1 to 9, you'll be able to, deal with that the same way you have this. And so one of the beauties of anything that you can allow to form as a habit, and people say it takes 21 days for a habit to form, whatever you allow to form as a habit will naturally, subconsciously just come out of you. This is how people will drive from work to home. Yes, I mean, they're alert, they're, obeying traffic rules and everything, but they know that route by habit. They don't need to put on a GPS. Nobody needs to instruct them. There are a lot of things, waking up, brushing our teeth, we don't think, oh, toothpaste, which tooth where, we just do it. It's now become a habit. And so you can also incorporate these bounce back success strategies as a habit, so that any other new situation comes up, you say, hello, I've been waiting for you. I knew that you would come by, and I will deal with you just as I dealt with everything else. This just makes me think of David and Goliath, where David says, don't worry, King Saul. I've got this giant. I mean, I have dealt with a lion before. I've dealt with a bear before. I will do with this uncircumcised Philistine the same way I did with them. So when you incorporate these success strategies as a lifestyle, when you make it a mindset to whatever happens to me. Oh, there's this gentleman that I follow, Graham Cook. He says that he's trained himself to have 15 seconds from when he hears of any bad news that rattles him. 15 seconds, and then he has calmed himself down. He reminds himself who God is and how God will never leave him, will never forsake him, that all things work out for the good of those that are called by God and, called according to his purposes. Those that love God and called according to his purposes. He will get himself to calm down. He says, I have trained myself not to be in this freaking out mode for more than 15 seconds. So whatever you need to do, train yourself. Have a routine, like a drill, like firemen have, or police or the military have. They have a drill. Like when this happens, then you do this, and the next thing, and the next thing. Do that with yourself and setbacks. All right, bad news is coming. If you need to take time, step away from everybody else, step away from noise and everything, step away. Pen and paper, write. What is going on? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What are my options? Just everything that I have been sharing with you the past 10 days. Follow that sequence. And when you keep doing that, and when you internalize that, you would be surprised as to how effective you will remain, how efficient you'll remain, how engaged and empowered and energized you'll remain. And people wonder, are you really going through this? I mean, do you realize what's happened to us? How come you seem so neutral? And you'll say, I am very aware. This is a really bad situation, or so it seems. But I've also learned it doesn't help for me to go crazy and freak out and throw in the towel and say this just doesn't work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the steps that I always have and get them in. Maybe you may not be the person at that time who's really panicking, but somebody else would be. So get them in on these strategies, this success now, habits and lifestyle that you've adopted, so that you and your people, your team, whoever you're doing this with, can be calm and composed and of sound mind to look at what is before you and know what to do about it, to make the adjustments that you need to make, and to monitor progress as you work your way back up, or your way back to an even greater vision that you initially had before the setback came. Because sometimes setbacks are a blessing in disguise. Their strengths, their competencies, their character refining that will not happen when everything is smooth sailing. When you go through a setback, you find out what you're really made of, or you find out what you're not made of. And even when you find what you are not made of, don't dismay. It is an opportunity to rise up to the challenge. It is an opportunity to give your best, to do your all. I am done with this series. Thank you so very much for everyone who's been watching and following. I've had people say, "Oh my goodness, today's was really effective." I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. If you've been through a setback, you're speaking to somebody who understands, preaching to the choir. I know how you can get so unsettled, so rattled by it, and you would find it is not what happened to you, as Zig Ziglar says, that determines how far you go in life, but it is your response to what happened to you. And just as we've heard many statistics that when an accident happens, sometimes it is not the initial impact. Maybe it's a physical, maybe car, whatever accident, but it's the way people respond. Maybe they're carrying somebody wrong, or they're waiting too long, or they administer the wrong technique or drugs or whatever it is. And so it is often not so much what happens to us in life as it is how we respond to what happens to us in life, which determines whether we will fare well or we'll completely just lose it. And so this series is a whole lot more important than just Modessa was looking to spend 10 days with you. As much as I love spending time with you guys, it really does make a difference. It will be the difference between whether you will get up and soar again, or this setback will completely crush you. And we will never hear of you again in anything that you ever did and you ever attempted to do. These are tried and true success strategies on how to bounce back from setback. I ask you, I plead with you, for you and your success and that of everybody who is in whatever it is you're currently in, adopt them as a lifestyle, learn them as a principle, and make sure that whenever something comes in, you can step back and look at these strategies and apply them each time, because it really will determine whether you will rise up again out of these ashes and probably do a whole lot better than ever before. Because what people say, it's those that have fallen, it's those that have seen failure that end up doing great feats, wonders. But the very same failure could completely take you out into oblivion, that you will never be heard of again. You will never be seen. And that gift that God has put in you, that purpose for which you came to live out here, will never be expressed. Why? Because you just did not know how to respond to a setback. So make the most of the errors and the blunders that I have made and the things that I have learned the hard way, and learn the success strategies. Adopt them. Actually, please put out comments on the things that you also do and you found to be very effective in getting you up when you fall. I'd love to hear from you on that. I am on a quest to equip 100 million African leaders, purpose-driven servant leaders that want to drive market results with excellence. But my equipping is not just for business and career and personal development to do well in the marketplace. It's your life 360. So everything, your mindset, your character, your time management, your energy management, your financial stewardship, every area that concerns you, that affects how well you would perform in the marketplace and how well together we would lift Africa into its rightful place as a leading, economy in the world. I am concerned by it. And I am here to stand with you, to equip you, to empower you. Sometimes also to just make you laugh as you transition through the seasons of life and as you put yourself. Because at the end of the day, I equip, but this is on you. As you choose to get yourself to a place where you can get into strategic positions of leadership and influence and leave your mark, have impact, do well, even as you do good. So share, subscribe, follow, and comment. Please do send in comments. Please do send in topics that you would like to, discuss. One of the things that I'm doing in June 2019, just in case you watch this some other year, is I'm going to have workshops. And so I put out an ad, a flyer. If you want to have workshops on personal development, career, or business with me, and you think, but I can't afford your coaching rate. Okay, so can I get a free session? Yes, you can. You can get free workshops with me if you can invite 100 friends to subscribe to Purpose and Excellence on YouTube. And I will host a completely private VIP workshop, an entire workshop on any chosen topic on personal development, career, and business. I am here to equip you in any way I can. I'm reaching out for 100 million African leaders. The way I'll do it is through online teaching, coaching, it's articles I've written, it's face-to-face meetings, it's speaking engagements, it's you sharing not just me, my content, but you internalizing, you making this content your own and sharing with other people as well. Have an amazing day. And until I come back on with another series, go and implement the success strategies. They really do work. They have seen me through many seasons. Listen, I'm barely 40, but whew, I've seen a thing or two. And if it weren't for these success strategies, and even after marriage, my husband and I, we've seen fire. Had it not been for these success strategies, I would not be here sharing this video with you. And so any other series I've had, any other teachings I've had, make them your own. Share them with others. Equip yourself for this amazing dawn that Africa is going through, that you as a purpose-driven servant leader that wants to drive market results with excellence must be a part of. We need every man and woman standing. I am counting on you. Have an amazing day. Until next time, keep well and go happen to your sphere of influence unapologetically. Till then, bye.